Thanks, Pieter, for being on the podcast. Now, you're Belgian, I'm Belgian. Let's get the most important question out of the way. What's your favorite beer?
That's Duvel, a classic.
Ooh, nice one. Yeah. Very nice, very nice. So let's start with first with defining your role within 24 Sessions.
I lead the customer success team at 24 Sessions, and we help our customers with implementing the technology.
Okay, and you say the customer success team. What is the purpose of that team?
Yeah, so it's basically helping our customers get the most value they possibly can from the 24 Sessions technology. And there's different roles. So we have a team of customer success managers that really help on the entire life cycle. We have a team of community managers that help the users with all the questions they might have. And then also we have a team of solution engineers that help more with the technical implementation and configuring the technology.
All right. Okay. And you and your team, you created this growth model for helping customers implement video calling with customers. So, why did you create this model?
Yeah, so when we started out, one thing we noticed is that for a lot of organizations, it's actually the first time that they implement video calling as a customer interaction channel. Yeah. So there was nothing there, and we saw that just offering them the technology and making sure that worked wasn't enough to make it a success.
Okay.
It's not one of these implementations where you replace an incumbent technology with a new. It's really providing a new service, a new communication channel to customers. So we realized to make our customers successful, we needed more than technology alone, and that's why we created that framework that's not only focuses on the tech side, but also really on how do you make video calling work for your organization. So also the adoption side.
Okay, and if I look at it high level, like how would you say it works?
Yeah, it's quite straightforward, but we basically we look at it. Every customer of ours or every organization wants to achieve impact. They want to achieve a business goal with using video calling, and to achieve business impact, we found out there's actually two main things you need to make sure that are in order. That's on the one hand adoption, so making sure the tool is used, that the channel is used, and on the other side it's performance, so making sure that the tech works great. And basically, we help our customers manage those two aspects of the project.
Okay, adoption and performance.
Yes.
All right. And
you need.
Yeah. Let's say I'm a company, a bank or whatever organization, and I'm new to video calling with customers. Where do I start?
Yeah. So what we usually recommend is first to look at stakeholders. So if this is really the first time you're going to implement it, you're going to need a multifunctional group to make it happen. And really important is that you get some sponsorship from the board, or at least higher management, someone that's really bought in.
Yeah.
Then you need to look at, am I gathering the right people on the IT side to make it all work technically, but also within the environment. And then, of course, on the business side, right? Are the people that are actually going to use the technology on board? Is the business manager on board? And is there a dedicated project lead?
All right. So you mentioned executive sponsorship, the right people from IT, the right people from the business, and project lead.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other things I should think about when starting with video calling?
Yeah, so I mean, when you have that covered, and usually customers have that covered. They already thought about, hey, we need a project group, but it's just also we give them a checklist and say, hey, are all these profiles involved? And usually, many of them are ticked off, but then there's also one or two that still need to be involved. So that just helps, right? So that makes it practical. But once stakeholders are ticked off, I think it's really about you're introducing this new channel of communication with your organization. Then it's about the customer proposition. So why would customers use this channel, and why, and also why not? So I think it's really finding out for which products, for which type of meetings are we going to open up this channel, and what's then the value of that channel. So for example, I think for a lot of banks, they use video for a mortgage conversation, but also for a private banking conversation. And I think the customer proposition for a mortgage conversation is often speed of having an appointment. So a customer can have an appointment the same day or even click to call. Right now, when I want information about a house, bam, I can speak to a mortgage advisor. For a private banking use case, the proposition is different. It's more about, hey, can I serve my bronze customers better? Can I speak to my bronze segments more often? What's
a bronze segment?
Yeah, so for example, usually in private banking customer portfolio, you have per the size of customers, they're segmented. So the bronze would then be let's say the long tail, the lower tier customers, who's maybe they would get a visit once a year from their private banker. Now they can speak to their banker 5 or 6 times. So you can really more proactively service that group.
Okay, so you're saying customer proposition, because this is very counterintuitive. You think first about, what are we gonna do? But you're actually approaching it from, but why does the customer need to do this?
And I think that's really important, because even now somewhere in the organization, someone has an idea about, we need to do something with video.
Yeah.
And then when it trickles down to the person that are actually going to do it, and you ask, hey, what's the rationale behind it? Because it's kind of been gone through so many layers within an organization, the purpose is not always fully clear anymore for everyone involved. So I think, that's a great exercise, focusing on, hey, what does your customer wants to get out of it, to get everyone aligned.
Okay, and then per product or per, let's say, proposition you have different types of propositions that you then focus on.
Yeah.
And that has an impact on the implementation.
Yeah. So I think the better you do all these things, right? The better you have your stakeholders aligned, the better your customer proposition is, the better your desired outcome will be.
Okay.
That's what we see. Yeah.
Okay. So we have stakeholders, customer proposition. Is there anything else I should be thinking about when starting? Yeah.
So I think actually one that I really recommend to every customer. They don't always do it straight away. It takes some courage, but it's implemented in the customer journey in a good way. So just open the channel up to the public. Let your customers choose if they want to use it, yes or no. And of course, you need to be specific about where in the customer journey and should fit within that proposition that we talked about just now. But if you just do that, it's the channel will prove itself. I see that every time. One of our longest and most successful customers is Argenta, a mortgage supplier in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
They did a simple implementation in the customer journey where mortgage applicants are able to just schedule a meeting with a booking form on their website, and from day one, that has been a success. Very little implementation time needed. From day one, the proposition or the value and the impact was proven, which then makes building out and scaling so much easier and so much more convincing for the rest of the organization.
Okay. And you say, let the customer choose. Just to give me some perspective, what is the alternative if the customer doesn't choose?
Yeah, so the alternative, and that's what is, here's my my advisors or my agents, I'm telling them, hey, you from now on, you have the video capability next to visiting a customer or the customer visiting you, or phone, text chat, whatever channels they have at their disposal, and say, hey, here's this extra channel. Use it as you see fit. From now on, we agree that for this type of meeting, you're going to use video, and it's up to them to propose it to the customer.
Okay.
That's that's kind of the safe way, but also, it takes quite long to get traction, to get adoption. Yeah.
Okay, and you mentioned customer journey, like letting the customers choose. Are there other things I should be thinking about with customer journeys in video?
Yeah, so it's basically, if you look at a video interaction, it can be initiated in multiple ways, right? It can be scheduled by a customer, it can be scheduled by an agent. It can be click to call, so an instant video meeting. It can be an escalation from a different channel, from phone or text chat. So those are kind of the big ways a video call can be initiated.
Yeah.
And I think if you take these and then just plot them on the journeys that you have, right? So okay, this is a customer journey for lending or energy advice or whatever journey that you offer. Just look at at which steps in that journey is it relevant to enter one of these entry points into the channel. And that's actually the puzzle that customers need to that they need to do.
And that the alternative would be, here is our homepage on the website, bam, start video. That's maybe not the best way. That's
opening the gates. You want it's not a video interaction is not for every interaction, right? The things that you can cover off with text chat, cover them off with text chat. The things that you can cover off with phone, cover them off with phone. I think you want to save these personal interactions for moments that truly matter for you and the customer. So you need to be considerate on where you place them in the customer journey.
Makes total sense. How we say it. So that's maybe when you're a bank and you're not super experienced, you want to start with it. We had stakeholders, customer proposition, and customer journey. Is, let's say, for different types of organizations that are like more experienced with video customer interaction already, how can they use this model to optimize what they already have?
Yeah, it's I think then you, as you said, it's you really get to, I guess, the scaling phase. So the channel has proven itself, and now you want to give the capability to every relevant agent on every relevant product that you have. I think then it's really important to start looking to get the foundations right first, because it's tempting to just scale up really fast, but then you're on some shaky ground, let's say. So then looking at, how does my current customer interaction architecture look like? What's the customer interaction tooling that I'm using? What's my CRM? How does data from those systems get combined and visualized? What are other customer communication channels do I offer? So just look at that entire picture and say, okay, this new channel, how does that fit in there, right? So where does the data live? Where does where does the capability live? You don't want that in a separate or standalone application. It should be embedded in the suite that your agents are using. And I think before scaling is absolutely crucial. You get that done, and then also looking at so some hygiene stuff like can we host it on our domain, the application? Can we embed it maybe in a banking system on the front end, and that kind of stuff.
All right. So with the you mentioned with architecture, embedding it with CRM and other channels, but what do you see as the benefit for doing that?
Yeah, good one. So there's a lot of benefits. So it's first of all, for the IT organization, making sure it's maintainable in the long run. It's reducing friction for your agents that are using the channel.
What do you mean by reducing friction?
Yeah. So for example, if someone schedules a video meeting with your agent, you want that meeting to show up in your CRM, and that where they live, right? If they live in their CRM, they want to see, hey, I have a video meeting there. Click on the open up the meeting there, and don't have to navigate different applications.
It's funny how you say that, where they live.
Yeah.
I live in my CRM.
Yeah. Many of us do, Ferdi. So I think that's really needed to reducing that friction. And then last point is, if you do it right in the beginning, you're able to gather a lot more data and insights later on. So because you have you want a single view of your customer, so you want to know across channels how they interact with you, and if you embed stuff in the early on, then you'll be able to gather that single view of the customer and really see, okay, which channels did they use with us, etc.
Okay. And with that single view, like I'm trying to imagine it here, you're looking at I'm a customer of, let's say, Rabobank, and if I had a phone interaction with someone, you want to know about that. And in the same view, if I had a video mortgage advice, you want that to be there, and how maybe if they sell mortgages via the phone, I don't know if they do that, but how do those channels
exactly. Exactly. And then even you can go as far as when a business is applying for a loan via video, then that agent within the same when they're speaking to that customer, they in the same on the same page, they also see, hey, have they taken any insurances with us? What's our history with this customer? Just to also again, right, give the best possible experience to the end customer.
Yeah. All right. So that's architecture, all type of softwares, connecting it into your infrastructure. Anything else?
Yeah, I think then once that is done, it's about it's about scaling, and then it's making sure that, right, and let's assume proposition, customer journey, stakeholder, that's all taken care of.
Right.
I think then you really have a solid basis, and you can start driving business. You can market. You can use it. You can use the channel as a way to drive sales through marketing campaigns, for example. So we had with a customer, Partij Namut, an insurer from Belgium, and what they did is they ran social campaigns, kind of a direct response campaign where, in your social feed you saw advertisements where with one click you could schedule a video meeting with one of their advisors. So they saw a lot of inbound traffic from that. So it's.
And what is the alternative? Like,
think about how it was before, right? So you're marketing your services to your
customers,
to potential customers. They see a TV ad, they see hear a radio ad, or they even see a social ad. What do they need to do? They need to go to your website, call up, make an appointment, go there. So that there's so many moments where you can drop off, and now you put your advisor like literally within one click of your customer. So straight from that interaction, you can speak to someone that can give you the best advice on which insurance to buy.
So you're saying you're offering convenience, because if I understand it correctly, the marketing team then goes to send emails to prospects and they see an email where like a product is promoted and then click here if you want it or you want to know more about it. That's
exactly. You can use it in any in any direct marketing campaign, right? So whether it's indeed emailing or social or but we also had customers that use it in more traditional above the line media. So with a customer, Vattenfall, large energy supplier, and they which is great. Their mission is to go to a carbon-free world in the future, and that's really their brand mission. So part of that, they give energy advice to their customers. So actually helping them save energy, which sounds counterintuitive, but it's a great service that fits their mission really well. And that service is delivered via video, and they really broadcast that through TV campaigns, radio ads. So once everything's set up, then you can start broadcasting, whether it's below the line or above the line.
Okay. What makes you say this marketing? Why should you really pay attention to it when you're scaling up? Like, does it drive so much more like traffic or?
Yeah. So absolutely. So it enables you to grow what you have, right? If the foundation is solid, this is a way of really growing that. There's different ways, right? But marketing is a good one. And I think what's important to note, I'm not saying that it's too late in a lot of markets and in a lot of industries to claim the channel, right? So I think, for example, in Netherlands, ABN AMRO claimed beeldbankieren. They really were the first. The other banks can't do that anymore. Yeah. But then if you see how ING or Rabobank or SNS are promoting the channel, it's as part of a different offering. So get a mortgage with us via video. Speak to a private banker now. So it's as part of a different marketing campaign. So. But if you're early, of course, and you want to, then you can also claim, hey, we are the beeldbankieren bank or the beeldbankier or the video energy supplier. But not everyone can and should do that.
Okay, so we have architecture, marketing campaigns. Anything else that comes to mind when you're an experienced organization with video calls?
Yeah, and I think then it's about software. So if you look at the tool that you're using, am I really making use of all the capabilities that there are?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so it's for example in the video room, right? Am I using stuff like screen sharing? Am I using stuff like co-browsing when relevant? I think within 24 sessions, there's quite some ways to really optimize your journeys to make them stand out. So for example, for all my different meeting types to have great waiting rooms configured so that when a customer arrives in a video call, they get a message that's relevant to them. So I think that's just there's so many things that you can optimize, and it's easy to forget it along the way. It's also what my team really tries to kind of bring top of mind as you go along. But I think just once in a while looking at what features are you using to reach your goals and seeing, hey, is there any new stuff that I can switch on out of the box? Because often, if you use a SaaS product, the great thing is there's new stuff every week, right? Or every month at least. Yeah. And just keeping track of that, because what you see is that a buying decision was taken at one moment in time, and then at that point, the solution that was chosen fits certain requirements. Yeah. And then that's what you build upon. But then a year later, that SaaS product has evolved and improved and gotten better. So really taking advantage of that and not just sticking to your own requirement list that you had made up, and just looking at your vendor and saying, hey, what other stuff can we do together? How can we improve?
Yeah. And how do you deal with companies that come to you and say, hey, I want these extra capabilities because we have new requirements? How do you deal with that?
I mean, it's that's looking at what do you want to do, and does it fit in what's the end goal that you want to achieve? That's basically the first question that you want to. Why do you want this feature?
Okay.
And then oftentimes there's you don't actually need a new feature to achieve that goal. There's different ways that are currently possible. But if indeed something new needs to be developed, then that can be done if it aligns both, I think, our roadmap and the customer's roadmap. It's always we take a pragmatic approach in that.
Okay, nice. So you're an experienced bank. You look at architecture, you look at marketing campaigns, you look at software, and am I utilizing everything? What I really wanted to ask you, Pieter, is I like learning from mistakes for myself in my job, but also looking at can others learn from other people's mistakes? Are there like these pitfalls that everyone falls in, like the things I see you smile already. So are there things that happen usually or frequently?
I think the most common mistake is and also the worst one, and also is, we talked about it before, is thinking that implementing customer interaction video calling will be a bottom-up process. So thinking, hey, if I give this to my agent, this capability, it will just grow organically and they will love it so much and they'll start using it. And that is not how it works. It needs to be done by design. Just giving the capability to your agents and saying, off you go, let me know how it goes, and then expecting it to organically grow. That absolutely won't happen. But yet, a lot of our organizations that we speak to, they still have that assumption that it will go that way. And the funny thing is, even now with the pandemic, where video calling got a lot more, a lot more common, right? In everyone's lives. Still, this holds true, right? So it's still. It's still not a channel that grows organically for customer interaction. It just doesn't.
But Pieter, I don't get that. So when I download a new app on my phone and it makes my life easier, I use it more. So I think what you're saying is we in an organization you think of an advisor and they're doing maybe phone advice, and then you give them a video tool. And they can connect, like, I think that's the benefit, right? You can connect more with your customer. Mm-hmm. Why would they not do that?
It's just breaking habits. It's change management, right? So people find it hard to change out of themselves.
Right.
And some people do, right? There's this, you've early adopters, laggers, followers, etc. So if you give the capability to 10 of your agents, 1 or 2 will be early adopters and they will run with it. 2 will hate it, and the middle ones will use it occasionally. So that's what will happen. But it will take ages for you to scale. At the moment, organizations don't have that time. So you need to absolutely do it by design.
But how do you convince them that then?
I try to share examples of because this is a mistake that many organizations have made and. Are still being made, frankly. So it's easy to point at examples without naming and shaming, but often we also just we connect project leads from different customers to new customers of ours to just kind of share the journey they've been on. And this is one that gets called out sometimes. I think another thing that's really important there, I think it's also regarding to stakeholders, is if you roll this out, make sure that you don't give this to a business manager to do next to their core job. So hey, hit your sales target and implement video for your team, please. That won't work. You need a dedicated project lead.
And with dedicated, you mean this is their job?
This is their job for, I don't know, depending on the scale, 6 months to 2 years to implement this.
All right, because if you... so what you're saying is you have like a business manager, you give them the job of implementing this. They will do this on the side, maybe forget some things, do things quickly, and then they won't pay attention to all of the things you mentioned earlier. Yep. I can see that. Yeah.
And I think maybe we were talking about mistakes. I think the last one is really on that tech side, and it's making sure that scaling up too fast when the foundation isn't right. So, and the foundation, then I speak about network. So, is your network able to handle large volumes of video calls all at once, even through a VPN with all your agents sitting at home? Is the media traffic routed in a way that's optimal? So you don't want to experience that when you're doing thousands of calls a day. You want to do that because it affects your customers and it affects your employees. Yeah. So you just want that just needs to be sorted. And then secondly, it's about it's sometimes tempting when you got a lot of success with a standalone solution. So, okay, and now we scale up, right? We extend the capability, we see the impact, we're gonna get more of it. And then scaling up without doing some of the integrations at a time where it's still manageable to do it. So I'm not saying you need to do everything at once, but scaling up when it's completely standalone is not a good idea, because you get, there's operational problems that you run into. But also it's, you will see impact, but the impact could have been so much bigger. And all the embedding that you're gonna do, you're there with a user group of hundreds of agents, and then you need to change their way of working. So it's better to kind of do it when it's still small, when it's still nimble, and then get everyone on board. So when that's,
right, it sounds a bit like taking a car on like the streets where you can do 50 per hour. And then taking that same car on the highway, and then things start to shake. We didn't check if everything was. Okay.
Yeah, great analogy.
Yeah. So you mentioned 4 pitfalls, like thinking bottom up, everyone will just adopt without any like design or like breaking habits, and I can see that it's a rational thought, it's a rational argument, while people are also emotional, and I've also find it hard to break my habits sometimes. Second, project lead, totally understand that one. Third one, scaling up too fast if the foundation isn't right, and then that ties into those integrations that you talked about. Okay. I think we covered quite some ground today, Pieter. So first we talked about the growth model, why you created it. Then you explained like how does it work high level with the adoption and the performance, and then we went into some concrete examples. Banks that start out with it, banks that are experienced with it, what do they need to pay attention to, and then you mentioned some pitfalls at the end, and hopefully people will listen to this and think good that you mentioned that. All right. Pieter, thanks a lot for joining the podcast today, and have a good one.
Yeah, cheers. Thanks.
Bye.